Welcome, Survivor. We're now in Alpha 19.2 stable. The new version has dropped, and the best thing about it is that I get to show you these awesome ladies all jiggly and all electrocuted. Oh, isn't that wonderful? And this is probably the best part of the whole update. I've showed it to you, and actually there's not much left to show. You might wonder, why is that? It's a whole new update. We're in Alpha 19.2 stable, 7 days to die, wonderful, and no. Well, yes. I mean, well, it depends on how you define it. So why don't we take a look at the patch notes, see what's in Alpha 19.2, and I'm going to show you as well how you make sure your game is in Alpha 19.2, because that's something I see coming up in my comments, I see it coming up in my Discord, I even see it on Reddit, people having problems actually finding out how to get to the correct version. As you can see in the top right corner, it says Alpha 19.2. So let's back up a little bit and have a look. So what you want to do is make sure you go to your Steam and you right click on the 7 days to die, hit properties, and you go to betas, and this is where you select which version you have. Now normally when you play, you want to have it as none, opt out of all beta programs, meaning you're going to get the latest stable version that exists in 7 days to die. It won't give you any of the experimental versions, and as you see here, there's a bunch of other ones that you can actually see. You see there's a 19.1 stable, there's 18, 17, 16, etc. So you can actually select whichever one you want. If you select 19.1, you get 19.1, and there is no 19.2 because 19.2 is the latest stable, which means you have to select none here. Sometimes when there is an experimental version, there'll be an experimental branch usually here at the bottom that you can actually opt into if you really want to try out and see what the changes or bugs and everything that could exist in a new experimental version. But for normal gameplay, I always recommend do none, opt out of all beta programs. As long as you have that one closed, you should end up with the correct version. So I'm here at 7daystoDie.com, and the Alpha 19.2 stable is out. And they do mention what's in here, so we're going to go through the patch notes and everything. It's a really weird punch release to me because it has SteelSeries Game Sense feature, and I'm going to go through what that really is about. It's got a couple of fixes and changes, and that's it. It's actually the kind of update that surprisingly, if you didn't know it was an update, you would probably only notice it in 2 instances. And I'm going to get to those ones here at the bottom. Let's take these ones first. And there's a fix, and this is really a bug fix. Now it says unlit explosives can explode in your hand after throwing a lit one. You probably remember if you played the previous version that if you had, let's say, 2 pipe bombs in your hand, you lit one, threw it. That one would explode, and then after that, the one in your hand would explode because it was automatically lit. It was a bug that they finally fixed. It worked the same thing, I believe, dynamite and stuff like that as well. So it was really, really bad. So they finally fixed it, so it avoids you dying to your own dynamite or your pipe bomb. So this is really good. The second thing says electric fence wires drop to the bottom of the pole after unloading the chunk, or FO. FO? What's an FO point? Oh, whatever it is. Sometimes this could happen, and let me go into the game to show. If you've been playing with electricity, you know that what could happen was that you connect the wire from the electric fence to the other one, and when you return to your base or load up the world again, it would connect the wrong way. It would go from the tip down towards the bottom of the next fence. And that was really annoying because it meant that sometimes it just would miss all the zombies, especially if you have them set down one in the ground. It would miss some of the zombies and some of the path. Really, really annoying. It's been in the game for quite a while. Now, I can't actually do that, so I had to cheat or simulate it by basically putting a pole down, because now it will be like this over to that one. And that's all there will be. It will never actually go down. And I'll show you as well why this could be a problem if I can find an extra electric fence. Here I have one. And you would go something like this. Actually, no, I need to get another one down. Let's go down one more. So this is how it could look, more or less. In some of the bases in previous versions where it would connect it incorrectly, it would basically go down through the ground because it would try to connect to the bottom of the pole, and only half of the path would actually be electrocuted. So zombies that were walking here wouldn't actually get hit by the bus. Now, of course, this is one I have on chest level, so I'm getting electrocuted anyway. And it's really good that they fixed this one. It was really annoying when it happened. And sometimes basically meant that people were going to advanced rotation, and they would basically lay them down like this, something like this, because then again the wire actually goes straight across. But that basically means that you need more horizontal space, which can be a little bit annoying in some base builds. So that has finally been fixed. Great, thank you, Fun Pimps. And the pipe bombs was similar. You would light it, throw it, and the next one would actually be lit. So either you have to switch away very quickly, or you have to just keep on throwing them because they would just be exploding. But they have also fixed that, which I don't know really why it was happening, but I'm really glad they fixed it because it was super annoying. A lot of people actually end up dying to it. Now, they've also been doing some tweaks as far as the graphics. They have added some commands. They've added the trees are set consistent LOD transition values, new version of Microsplat, which improves performance, optimized the path grid, reduced the effect of high and ultra object settings, updated terrain shaders, improved terrain shader setting for better performance, etc, etc. And that's really nice. And same with the trees where they were popping in oddly, and 2 trees not instancing and stuff like that. So a lot of these performance improvements, optimizations are probably nice. I've highlighted in the past that I wish they would give a little bit more information of how much is this actually improving game performance. If it's, let's say you're running at 40 FPS before, are you going to go to 45? Are you going to go to 41? Are you going to go to 60? Give us just a little bit of a general sense. It doesn't have to be set in stone. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate, but a little bit of information about, yeah, you're going to go from 40 to 45, or you're going to go from 40 to 41, because if you go to 45, it'll be nice. If you go to 41, sorry, I simply won't notice it. So I wish the Fun Pimps would, put that in as far as this one, because I'm sure they tested it out to simply say, hey, we've noticed the 5 FPS setting on a general normal system, and leave it at that. I mean, they could even tie it to the system requirements for the game that is on Steam page and say, hey, on this minimum or this recommended settings, this is what extra performance you're getting out of it. I think that would be really useful. We also have the addition of the GameSense features, which is a SteelSeries, I believe, API that is available on some mice, keyboards, and even monitors. I don't know if they've tied it into the monitor. They only mentioned mouse and keyboard, so maybe that's not something you can configure on your monitor. It makes more sense on the monitor having LCD lights at the bottom of the monitor, because you might look at that. On the keyboard and mouse itself, I don't think this is extremely useful. But if you don't have SteelSeries GameSense, then the only 2 things you're likely to really notice is the explosive and the electric fences. And that's why I say this is a really weird point update, because there's pretty much nothing except a couple of updates that you will notice with the whole thing. I wish they had put in a little bit more features. Give us a raft, give us the junk drone, give us an extra zombie or something. That would really make a difference. That would make this a little bit of a meaty kind of update that people go, yes, oh, this is really cool. 19.2 was nice. It gave us some extra content. But instead, you have a couple of fixes which were nice, admittedly, and the SteelSeries GameSense that I haven't heard of anyone actually have this or would actually use it. Most people don't even have GameSense enabled hardware. But for those who are curious, you can see here a demo where the ammo, HP, and armor is actually reflected on the keyboard, which is fairly cool, if not terribly useful. You see the same thing here. The lights on the keyboard will change as you deplete your ammo and armor. And I personally don't think that's super useful, because I don't look down at my keyboard. I'm looking at the screen, especially, this is 7 Days to Die, Counter-Strike and stuff like that would be even worse, because you definitely wouldn't be looking down at the keyboard. You'd be looking at the screen. Now, if it was something like this monitor where you actually have the lights at the bottom, that might be useful because you look towards the monitor anyway, so seeing this LEDs really does make sense, but not really on my keyboard. I wish they would tie it to the monitor. Maybe there's something that they'll be implementing, or maybe it already works because they've implemented the API already. Who knows? If you have tried it out, let me know. But beyond that, I don't think this update was really anything worthwhile. I think that they should have put in some real content. And this might be controversial. People are saying that, well, the performance increases are really cool and everything. And that's I mean, I don't mind performance increases, but I do want to have something meaty when I see an update, because otherwise it's sort of like 2 small fixes and that's it. Most people are waiting for more content, and all they get is a couple of fixes that admittedly were good that they put in, but they've been problems for a while, so it's not like they would have been super urgent. But what do you think? Do you think 19.2 is a good update? Do you think it's worthwhile for the FunPimps to put out these kind of updates where there are a couple of fixes, but beyond that, nothing that you really notice? I think that they should really reconsider a little bit. It's good putting in fixes, it's good putting in new features, but there should be something that most people can actually play around with and appreciate. Not just a few who might have a particular hardware like the SteelSeries game sense, like in this case, because, well, most of us play the game and we love it, but we want to see more zombies, more content. But I'm gonna leave you with that. Tell me what you think in the comment section below, and hopefully you enjoyed this short little video covering 19.2 stable, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Don't forget, it really does help me out, and of course it is free. And catch my other videos that I put out every week for the community. Have a good one, and I'll catch you again.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.